It's podcast day. It's podcast day. Welcome in. Welcome in, friends. Welcome to the heyBrownBerry YouTube channel. I'm Mars, and this is my podcast, a space to share my making and reflections with you, so I'm grateful you're here. Once again, I'm in one of my favorite places to be, which is in my backyard, sat by the fire. I love being fireside. It is early March, and because I live in South Florida, any day with temperatures below 60 degrees Fahrenheit is a good day to be outside. I feel really fortunate that whenever I decide I just want a little extra warmth on a chillier morning, I can come right out here and make that happen. And then I get to share it with you, which I love as well. I really have enjoyed the interactions we've been having lately on this channel by way of the comments. And the fact that you come here to spend time with me, it means a lot. And I have really felt such gratitude that I can record some of the things that I'm thinking and the ways that I've been feeling in these last several months. So thank you for that. If this is your first time here, I hope that you'll enjoy just a bit of quiet and calm with me, and that you'll come back. And if you keep coming back, you know that means the world to me, so thank you. I decided to come and sit out here today. I have some tea with me. I was fortunate that a friend gifted me with some tea from a new to me business, a Black-owned business, which is a wonderful thing to discover. And on top of that discovery, I'm actually really enjoying the tea. It's the Black Tea Leaf Tea and Culture Shop, and I've got some here in one of my favorite mugs, a little thermal mug to keep it warm. Butterflies. Big fan of butterflies. And this tea is actually called Home, which is very appropriate because that's where I am. I've got a chair stuffed with yarny things to share with you. I wanted to just give you a bit of quiet time to enjoy some nature scenes and just catch you up a little bit. I've had a really nice stretch for making since the end of last year, the end of 2020. Here and there I've been working on different projects, and I thought I would just give you some glimpses of that. No specific structure to this episode. That's the way I like it. I am happy to just catch you up on what I've been doing. And you know, I always encourage you to interact with me by way of the comments. So this time I would say, if you'd like to interact in the comments, just tell me what you've been working on. What have you been up to? Spring is on its way here in the Northern Hemisphere, and I think the change of season is one that can inspire. And I'm hoping that you'll feel inspired to share with me what you've been working on. As I sit here by the fire pit, it reminds me that recently I was able to use this natural resource as a heat source for some natural dyeing. So I'll share some images of that with you. I actually have quite a full pantry of dried materials for natural dyeing. This is something that I have been exploring slowly. I've done it at a different pace and a volume over time. I started natural dyeing a few years ago, inspired by my friend Maria, who has taught me a lot about the magic of plants and the color you can get from plants. And so months ago, I went into my dye pantry, which is really just the pantry in my kitchen, but I have a section in there where I keep natural dye materials. And I pulled out some of the things that I had left in there to dry. I keep things like avocado pits and peels, pomegranate skins, dried marigold flowers, and other things that are easy to preserve in that way. I just keep them clean, let them dry out, and then when I'm ready to dye with them, I put them either on a heating element that I have on my back patio, or stick them in a pot on the fire if it's a good day for a fire. So with that, I was able to put some color onto fiber, which was a lot of fun. Fiber dyeing can be a little bit tricky because there's a lot of dunking fiber in water and heating it up and trying to move it around gently so you don't compact or felt it. So I was able to get some good color with avocado skins and a little touch of iron to deepen the dusty pink color that avocado can give. And I did that on some mixed fiber, which was some Lincoln and Corriedale and Romney. Actually, I'll share with you the outcome of that because I dyed the fiber and then got right to spinning it. I am a hand spinner. I love making yarn, and I spun up some of my dyed fiber on my wheel. So I had some here in the bag with me. Avocado pits and peels can give a range of colors in the pink purple family, and this skein is one that I dyed up from the fiber that you will now have seen, and I used a bit of alum, which is a mordant. If you're curious about anything that I talk about when I talk about natural dyeing, I guarantee with a bit of Google searching and some fun on YouTube, you'll be able to find tons of information. But the summary is that I mordanted the fiber with some alum sulfate and then dyed it, as you saw, and then I spun it up into this squishy skein. And this is about 73 grams. I measured it about 150 yards. It is a 2-ply, which is kind of my default, and it comes out, I would say this is approaching a worsted weight for the most part throughout this skein. Love this process of going from natural food waste materials to colorful fiber to squishy yarn. And I actually decided that I would try to work with this same fiber and do a couple different fun dye projects. So about the same time, I also did some onion skin dyeing. Onion skins are very easy to come by at my house. We love onions for cooking, and my husband often saves onion skins for me, and I do as well, and I do the same thing with them. I put them in the dye pantry. I just let them sit there in a paper bag until I have a good volume for dyeing. So from onion skins, I got two colors, this gorgeous yellow and I tend to use both yellow and red onion skins when I'm dyeing with them. New battery pack, restored fire. So I was talking about onion skin dyeing, and I use yellow and red onion skins because I tend to get this more orangey yellow from that. I think a little bit of red is borrowed from the red onion skins, and yellow obviously from yellow onion skins. And again, just a 2-ply hand spun, same fiber. This fiber is very bouncy. I think it's got all the properties of the Lincoln and Romney and Corriedale that I love. Some strength, some elasticity, and really easy to spin actually. By that I mean I can draft it very easily, and it's a mindful process of spinning where I don't have to do too much thinking about how to work with it. Beautiful thing about food waste dye is that with a little bit of modification you can get other colors. From the onion skin bath, I was able to get this green by adding a little bit of iron. Iron tends to push yellow shades towards green. So one food product, 2 yarns. And like many natural dyes, I say this over and over, the colors just tend to naturally coordinate. First question I often get when I show my hand spun or hand dyed yarns is, what will you make with it, Mars? I don't know. Between these 3 skeins, I have about just over 400 yards, which is a decent amount, even for this heavier weight yarn. I could see this as a shawl. I think there would be some great warmth in here, and the stitch definition from these rounded strands would be really nice. I could also see this as the top of a sweater. So, you know, if I wanted to put it in the yoke, they would just go nicely together with maybe a neutral sweater body. That's what's brewing so far. If you have suggestions or thoughts about 450 yards of about a worsted weight, even including combinations, let me know. I'd just be happy to hear them. Sometimes reaching out to others is a great way to spark some creativity. I'm housing this in a bag that I sewed for myself. You see the size of it. Definitely a larger project tote, and I just used some fabric that I had purchased long ago when we used to travel to festivals. I was able to purchase some tweed yarns from Beyond Measure UK, and I lined it with some stash fabric that I've had forever. I'm pretty sure I got this blue inner fabric from my mom, and I was just patching it together, different pieces from my stash to make enough for a lining. And I love this bag. It's the squishy kind that I can just kind of be rough with. I don't have to be super precious about it, but it's got tons of room in it. So I drag that around a lot. One other project I wanted to share with you is a shawl project I've been working on. You've seen me on Instagram knitting this shawl by the fire before, so it's got lots of fireside memories stitched into it already. It's one of my designs. The pattern is called Ritual Shawl, and it's going to take me just a second to kind of sort it out and be able to share it with you. I designed the Ritual Shawl a few years ago with the intention of using up some yarns I really loved, pairing them together, and you'll see if you check out the pattern, those original yarns, they were some yarns from my friend Lindsay at the Fiber Seed. And I wanted something that was simple and almost meditative in the knit. So it's a triangular shawl, the body of which is primarily stockinette. Knit one row, purl one row, back and forth. And when I got to the end, I wanted to try something new with the border. So I taught myself from reading different tutorials and articles how to do a knitted on border, which is a way to apply a border as you're casting off stitches. And on this shawl, which I made quite sizable, you'll see, it was nice to be finishing off the shawl with a decorative edge at the same time that I was binding off the shawl stitches. If you've ever done a shawl of a decent size, 200 to 300 stitches on the needles is pretty common, and binding that off can sometimes be daunting. So to keep with the meditative process of this shawl, I made the design a border that was easy to do, just a few rows in the repeat, but it takes some time, and the payoff is that when you're done with the border, you're also done with the shawl itself. So here is my progress so far on this third go round. This is the third time I'm knitting myself one of these. There isn't a really good way to show this to you all in one, so I'm just going to give you a moving preview. As I said, it's a triangular shawl. So it has a center yarn over spine. And within the shawl, there are a few decorative elements just to keep your interest. And then you can see the lace edging, which is bordering the shawl. Now this time around, I wanted to use a couple of yarns that I have since fallen in love with. I am a big fan of John Arbon Textiles over in Devon in the UK. And this main body of the shawl, this gorgeous navy, is Another Friday Night. That's the colorway. It was a 2020 virtual mill open weekend special, but it is the 100% Falklands Corriedale line from John Arbon. So here is the label. And that's the colorway name for my favorites over at John Arbon. If any of you are watching, hi. And then as the border and accent color, I'm using another John Arbon favorite, which is called Devonia. And this Devonia is a breed blend. It's 50% Exmoor Blueface, 30% BFL, Blueface Leicester, and 20% Wensleydale. 100% Devon wool in that blend, made over in the UK. And this is their 4-ply. What I decided to do for both of these yarns is to carry them double. And that has given me, I'm just using, with the Devonia, for example, on the border now, I'm using a center pull ball and I'm pulling from the inside and the outside to double strand that 4-ply. And that's giving me the squishiest, loveliest fabric. I'm really looking forward to using this. And with a little more time spent, I may actually be able to enjoy it while the weather is still cool. Transitional accessories are amazing. If it's cooler in the mornings or evenings where you live now, you probably know already, the hand knits are still very welcome. So I'll share this with you when it's finished, obviously, but I wanted you to just be part of the work in progress and show it to you. The way that I'm working the border, I describe it in the pattern. It is really quite easy, if I'm being honest. It takes time because with each repeat of the lace border, you're binding off 8 stitches on the bottom edge of the shawl. So it takes time, but it's well worth it, and it's not a complicated lace stitch at all. I hope you'll check it out. It's the Ritual Shawl, and I have it available both on my Ravelry pattern store and on Etsy as well. And if you have questions, you can always reach out to me. But yeah, give it a go. Maybe it's your spring shawl in the making. I'd love to hear if you decide to try it. I am going to sit by the fire and work on this some more. It's nice to feel the warmth of the flame behind me. And I'm going to finish my tea. A good marker for me that I'm truly relaxed and in the moment is when I drink my tea, start to finish, and it's still hot. The simple things. I love quick visits with you because they're visits with you, and it's really all I need to stay in touch. Comment below what you're working on, and if you have plans for new season knits, I'd really like to hear about it. In the meantime, I hope you'll enjoy some more scenes from my landscape, sharing some sunshine and warmth and wildlife with you. I wish for you a very good week wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now. Mwah.